Hello, I'm Crickets, and welcome back to I Have a Story. I'm going to ask, how many of you, how old were you when you first had a gun pulled on you? How many times have you had a gun pulled on you and have you been shot at? Well, in my life, I was 13 years old the first time somebody pulled a gun on me. I've had guns pulled on me and I've been shot at more times than I can even remember or count. When I was 13, there was a kid in our neighborhood. His name was Jeff, and he was a few years older than me, and he never had any friends, and he was like the punk and the bully of the neighborhood. I remember, I've cut my own hair since I was 12, 13 years old. Basically, I've taken care of myself most of my life. I had a friend who, we were 13, give or take, 12, 13 years old, and got the clippers out, and we were buzzing my hair. And that Jeff kid just happened to be there and kept trying to pull the clippers out of the kid's hand who was trying to cut my hair. And kept trying to shave off my eyebrows. And he thought that was funny. So I was down at the corner of the street and I was on my skateboard, and he snuck up behind me and put a gun to the back of my head. And sat there for, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute, give or take. You're in those situations, time just stands still. But he pretended to be a robber and wanted to kill me. And then started laughing, and it was a big fun and joke and game at the time. Kids running around the neighborhood stealing their dad's gun and running around the neighborhood pulling it on other kids and sticking it to their head. The joys of the neighborhood I grew up in. I'll be talking more about stories over time about these incidences that took place. The last time I had to use a gun to defend myself was just a couple days after I got out of the hospital, after I was kidnapped, tortured, beaten, had my ear cut off my head, my throat slit, my body dumped and left for dead. A couple days after I got out of the hospital, a guy I did not know tried climbing through my bedroom window in the middle of the night, and I had borrowed a friend's gun in order to protect and defend myself, and I held the gun, pointed it at his head, and he climbed back down and back out. Fortunately, I've never ever had to pull the trigger, and even in a situation like that, after I was kidnapped, tortured, and beaten for an entire night, and just days later, a guy tries coming through my bedroom window in the middle of the night. Yes, there's police reports for all this, and yes, the guy ended up dead just a couple days after that. I'll talk more about that later down the road. Unfortunately, I've never had to actually pull the trigger and discharge a firearm, period. People see it, and they, fortunately, in my cases, have always backed down. I wish my life wouldn't have been what it's been to have to be in those situations. A lot more to talk about in other videos, but there's been a lot of incidences where guns have been involved. And I don't fear guns. I fear people in a society that is collapsing, and a society that's turning against one another. That's the fear. Doesn't matter what utensils we have at our disposal, people are going to hurt people, period. We need to stop people hurting people. That's should be our number one objective. Instead, we seem to like to keep creating more problems. More progression.